Purpose Rwanda as an idea is rooted in the belief and commitment of serving and transforming lives that leads to positive, purposeful, and addiction-free generation. With its various benefits, which are healthy population, active citizens engaged in productive activities that enhance increase in income levels, investment and savings, reduction in poverty levels, peace within an individual, the family, and the community. Drugs, alcohol, and sex addictions undermine human values and aspirations, resulting into undesirable consequences including mental health crisis, school dropouts, early and unwanted pregnancies, rising crime rates, increasing number of delinquents, poverty, and avoidable death, as this should be prevented from causing all this harm. Purpose Rwanda Show at KC2 aims at fighting addictions, supporting discovery and growth of life purposes towards the realization of self-sufficiency. Follow this show on KC2 every Saturday at 7 p.m. with Adams Quizia.
Well, good evening and thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure having you. Every time my producer counts to 1, 3, 2, and the lights are on, my heart rejoices. This is the Purpose Rwanda television show, and my name is William Evans. Interestingly, tonight we are going to talk about values. And with me to talk about this topic is a gentleman that is not new to your faces. This is a gentleman that has been here several times, Mr. Joshua Tahinduka. You're most welcome, Mr. Joshua Tahinduka.
Well, thank you so much, William, for having me.
Besides just coming here, I understand you are so much into public speaking and soft skills.
Yeah.
Briefly, tell the audience about what you do.
Yes, I'm actually known for my work in the area of public speaking. I do train public speaking, and in fact, I do run a public speaking masterclass for professionals that want to become more confident and better articulate their ideas in the area of public speaking. But in general, my work also spans development and training and providing coaching in the area of soft skills. It is said that hard skills get you to the interview, but soft skills win you the interview, get you the job, and keep you in the job.
Amazing. Well, here we are.
Yeah.
Not soft skills, not hard skills,
Yes.
but youth values.
Youth values.
Youth values. I want us to look at youth values, but in the context of a purposeful and addiction-free generation, a purposeful and addiction-free Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
What someone needs to understand, what are youth values to begin with?
So values, maybe today we focus so much on youth values, but generally values by definition, these are principles that a person abides by or decides to live by. And values you could say, examples could be, you say, I've vowed myself to be an honest person. I will keep time.
Yes.
I will not show up late. I will tell the truth.
Have proper communication.
Yes, have proper communication. Things that you decide to live by. These are guiding principles that you decide to live by.
Wow.
And when you're attached to the youth now, which is really special in the sense that it's more important, it's more impactful when when you adapt these values when you're young, when you're still youth, and you can be able to propel your life in a specific direction that these values push you to.
Oh, okay. So as someone that has been around for some time and doing public relations, I'm very sure you've more than once interacted with young people. You've seen people around Rwanda, and you've observed them.
Yeah.
What are some of the values you see that these people have, that these young people have, and what are some of the values that they are missing or probably not taking serious?
So it's very easy again. It's very tempting to come with a blanket assessment of, say, youth are missing this, youth have this. But I can tell you some of the people that have, some of the effective, or at least people you can see, young men and women, you can see this person is going places. You know, some of the values they are very good at timekeeping. They keep time, they do what they say they do. That's integrity.
Okay.
You know, and they are communicative. You mentioned earlier on communication, and I think your ability to manage your stakeholders and manage the expectations around you is such a wonderful skill, and therefore eventually an ability and a value to live by. And people that I see, you can easily predict or without fear of contradiction
Yes.
is when they don't have those values of hard work. You know, you tell to someone that, look, you don't have a job, but come and do an internship here. And you're just out of your high school or your university, you have no job. And they just say, no, I can't do
internship is too, it's very heavy on me.
Wow. Some of them will just say, I need money, I need 1 million to do your job. And you want to encourage this person to say, look, little by little, you'll get that 1 million you're looking for. But money is not an end in itself. Money is a byproduct of what you do for other people. So you want to know that for me, my value is that I am hyper productive. And when I get small or big, when I get an opportunity, I do it with my all.
You grab it by the horns.
Yeah, and do it. And I exceed expectations. And as a result, you will be among the top 1%. And guess who earns the most? The top 1%.
Wow. So I've been around, and truth be told, there is a very big issue among young people.
Okay.
And people love to sleep. People love to sleep. I've seen young people, I've seen people big and old in this country, in this capital city.
Yeah.
People spend so much time. People love their sleep. And I understand that to have values, these values are influenced by our culture, our societies. Maybe before we look at the influence of culture and where we come from, all the background and what schools we have been to, what families we've grown up in, I want to understand what are some, besides the sleeping bit, what are some of the challenges, the key values that people are ignoring, young people that are the key values that young people are ignoring. And probably it's the reason they are, not where they are dreaming to be, or probably are getting there, but with a slow pace.
Yeah, I think that's a very important part. And again, you make a clear distinction between people that are progressing and those that are not making pace. So I'm going to talk about those that are lacking in their progress.
Yes.
One of the biggest values I think people, especially young people, should have is ability to learn.
Yes.
Openness and readiness to learn at any time.
No man is an island.
Yeah, no man is an island. I think when you stop learning, when you stop learning, you stop growing.
Yes.
And when you stop growing, you start to die.
Wow.
There is no middle ground. And therefore, for me, one of the biggest values that young people especially should have is the value of constant and hunger and constant to learn. Steve Jobs is known to have said, and this is Steve Jobs, he says that stay hungry, stay foolish. What does this mean? Stay hungry for knowledge, stay foolish, stay ignorant, stay knowing you don't know, so that you can absorb as much information and knowledge. And I think for me, this is a great, great value. The other value that I think people who don't progress, they take for granted is the value of honesty.
Yes.
The value of telling the truth and saying, look, this is my truth, this is how I know it. Instead of trying to cut corners, looking for shortcuts in life, I think it's important to be honest and tell your truth. And I think for me, the last one, this is personal, is the value of faith. Having I am a Christian, and therefore having a deity that you connect with, a God, for in my case, and subscribing to
a supreme power.
A supreme power. And actually, someone said that if you don't subscribe to an authority, you should not be an authority.
Wow, interesting. Maybe to chip in, what is the role of culture,
Yeah.
families, background, society is where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Because you're going to, if someone, let's say, is coming from Kenya, someone that has grown up in Kenya, when they come to Kigali,
Yeah.
they look at young people and they are thinking, what's happening?
Yeah.
When people that have grown up here go to Kampala, it's a different story. When they go abroad, so I want us to understand the basis, the foundation, culture, society, family. What role do they play in formulating these values and transforming them or sharing them to these young people?
Well, that's a very good point, Williams. So every person, there's no person that grows beyond their environment.
Yes.
Because the environment shapes us and determines how far we go and what we learn. So the environment you are in provides you the limits to how far you can go, and therefore it influences you. I've often heard people say, oh, for me, I cannot change easily. I'm not changed by my environment.
That is how I am.
That's how I am. Woe unto you. Just go into an environment of any kind and you start to conform to such an environment. And therefore, culture and our environments, our families, they dictate the terms, especially from when we are young. How will you know how something is done a different way if you've never experienced it? So it's very apparent and very clear to us that the environment, the families in which we come from, they impact and they give a tune to how far we go.
Yes.
Or the limits of our growth and the expansion of our understanding.
In other words, your values limit how far you grow or how far you go. I've read somewhere someone saying that values are like seeds. That they transform ordinary people to extraordinary. In other words, there cannot be transformation if there are no values.
Absolutely.
And they can't also be, death or stagnant growth without you underlooking certain values. I want us to have this conversation. Do you think there are values that people should look at today as more prominent than others?
I think, for me, again, values, they are principles. They are principles, and life is built on principles. It's like if you touch in fire, you'll get burnt. That's how it is. You can't, unless there is an external, a change into the rule. So I think for me, it's not about that you should take these values and leave the other values. I think for me, it's important, first of all, to understand where do I want to go?
Yes.
What do I want to be in life? What's my vision?
What are your dreams?
What are my dreams? Aspirations. Yes. What do I want when I sign out of this world? What do I want to be remembered for? And that will determine the values that you adopt. We can have 10 people, and based on where we are going to, that's going to determine the direction that each of us is going to take. Therefore, it's important. It's one of the good books I've read is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by, now I forget the name, the gentleman, but I remember that. But really, it says that begin with an end in mind. Stephen Covey is the name.
Yes, yes.
Says begin with an end in mind. So it's important that, especially young people, we're talking about youth values, especially the youth. It's important to invest in understanding where you're going to. And this ties into the point of purpose.
Yes.
It ties into the element of purpose. It's important to invest in discovering my purpose and therefore develop values or adopt values that lead me to attaining my purpose.
Interesting. So for young people out there, the trick is very simple. Begin from the end.
Yeah.
So you need to sit, envision exactly where you want to be in how long, and then set values beginning from the goal. You actually act as if you've achieved it. So when someone sees you today, they see you do things, you work, let's say you want to be a billionaire in this city, and it is possible. So what we see you doing today are acts of a billionaire to be in future, right? Yeah. But with values and it's a process, and there are doubts. Sometimes it's not working. It's one of the values you talked about of honesty. It is a very expensive thing to be honest in such a time and a generation. So that is why you find cases of people have half truth. people are hypocrites. It's a very common thing in this country. What are some of the doubts, or how should someone probably that has set values and they are being discouraged, they're starting to have doubts because probably of the associations, you choose to look at life a certain way, but because you're in a gang and a group and those gangos, your boys or your girls, they think differently. So you start doubting the progress. And what do you have for such young people out here that have doubt in the values that they've set, or probably they've set values but they are shaky. They've decided we are going to do this, but sometimes they don't.
So I actually have words of comfort. Because one of the female presidents, the first female presidents of Africa, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, said words that are absolutely profound. She said that if your dream does not scare you, then it's probably not big enough. What does that mean? It means that on the pursuit of this purpose, of this big dream of yours, there could be points of doubt, could be times of wonder of whether you'll be able to achieve it. But I would say that it's absolutely normal to experience the doubts, especially when it's something new, something you've not done. And in moments like that, surround yourself with the right people. Find one person that you trust. You go to say, I know one young man in town, Williams. I'm going to look for Williams. And every time I feel that I'm starting to doubt, to veer away from my vision, from my dream, I'll go talk to him and ask him, look, what do you think I should be? Can you pray for me? Can you encourage me? Tell me something, because I'm losing it. Find people that are positive in mind, people that will be honest with you. We don't want blind optimism as well. Yes. Because that is going to lead you in a ditch. You want people that will be honest with you, but at the same time encourage you and say, look, this is tough, but you go through it. Because the journey to success, the journey to achieving greatness is not for the faint-hearted. It's not for everyone. That's why everyone is not there. It's for the determined, for people with grit, for people with commitment, for people with consistency. I think the other value I was looking for is consistency. Yes. You want to be known as a person that has stuck through it. Yes. You keep going. You keep going regardless. So for me, take heart if you are at that point of feeling discouraged. You're the edge of it. But go look for people that see the goodness in you, that see the value in you, that encourage you and propel you to the right direction. Amazing.
Being that you're a Christian, I know somewhere in the Bible says that how can two move together unless they've agreed? Yeah. So if you're on a journey to be, let's say, the future president of this country, do not surround yourself with people that are still thinking BIs, still think, minor things. Elevate your vision, elevate your values, and don't fear the doubt. Also, some other person said that the transformation begins when your values are louder than your doubts. Interesting conversation. I want to look at some of the issues that young people are dealing with today, world over, just not this town, but many of the people unemployment has become the song. Yeah. So everyone is singing unemployment, just different rhythms, those that are doing reggae, all styles of music. Unemployment has become an issue. Do you think part of the reasons that many are unemployed in this country or even world over could be an issue with values?
You know what? I'm actually inclined to think so. I had a conversation with, and with the nature of my job, I meet employers, but I also meet the young employees, people that are employees and they're unemployed. And you will get to know that some people in this country are looking for amazing talent that they can trust with their work, their ideas and visions. Yes. On the other hand, very many young men and women are looking for a job. Why is it so? And one of the reasons we started off talking about the value of learning, the value of integrity, and consistency. If you have these three, let me tell you, tell me a young man and a woman that has these values.
Who is consistent, honest, and
hardworking,
hungry
and
for,
always
for
learning.
wisdom.
Yeah. And they are seated at home, they have nothing to do. You will not find
very few.
Yeah. That's for me as an indication. And the heart of an employer is, whom can I trust with my resources to be able to multiply them? That's a thinking of God. Whom can I trust? And therefore, if a young man is out there, and it doesn't matter which level of education you are, where you are, and the social strata, it matters who you are.
Who you are, what values do you carry?
Exactly.
When people see you, what do they see?
Yes. I know very many young men who are not as educated, as lucky as we are, but the trust they have garnered from their bosses. They will say, give me a William who is not as educated as so, but has the values that I'm looking for.
Well,
and I think for me, the moment we define our values, especially as young people, and commit to these, we will even go beyond unemployment and actually create our own. Because the thing about when you have the proper values, and you also get to see opportunities. And the moment you see opportunities, you might even start to do your own thing.
Yes.
And the thing about, let me tell you, competence is attractive.
Yes.
When people see competence, they buy competence. They buy into the vision of a competent person. So where you are, practice these values, start on these values, start small but be consistent, learn, improve, grow, ask, connect, and you'll be amazed at how much in a short time you will not be in the statistics of the unemployed.
Well, very true. Competence attracts competence. Yeah. I want us to give hope to this young person, this young gentleman, this young lady, this family that has a young person with them that is struggling, that is dealing with all these sorts of addictions, drug abuse, sex, substance abuse, and what should they do? Because we've now identified that part of the problem are the values that are either not set or that are underlooked, So is there like a holistic, systematic way of coming up with these values? What advice do you have for such people and such families? You as a professional, from a professional point of view, what should they do? Because we are in this together. If our aim is to have a purposeful and addiction-free Rwanda tomorrow, it begins today. It begins today with us setting these values and trying them every now and then, and trying them. Before you know it, consistency attracts consistency. Tomorrow we are going to be, we are going to be there. Yeah. So just a word to these people. You can look straight in the camera and talk to them.
I think for me, what I want to say to this young person is that you are not your addiction. You are far from it. And you might be in this moment, but it's absolutely possible for you to get out of it and also live a purposeful life. I have had many examples of men and women that have they have gotten free from these addictions and have gone on to have meaningful lives and useful lives. You too, definitely, that can be your portion. But there is what it's going to take. It's going to take you to say enough is enough. And I'm probably sure that by the time you're listening in and staying on this show, you are at that posture of saying, I think I want to get over this. I want to be able to make my life useful. So the number two thing is for you to seek for help. It's okay, it's absolutely noble for you to find help. To say, I don't know what I need to do. And therefore, there are many avenues. And really, one of the avenues is Purpose Rwanda, is find a place where you can find help. There is a lot of professional help, but also community help. You cannot change a habit when you are still in the same environment. So what do I mean? keeping the same people, keeping the same company, keeping the same routine. I think something has to change, and that's why you need help. When you find a community like Purpose Rwanda, for example, they are professionals. They have the tools to help you. So for me, there's so much hope for you. You're still young. There's so much that you can be. And I think my suggestion for you is start now and change that, because it's possible.
Yes, change is very possible, and maybe what they should also know that Purpose Rwanda is very open. Every Wednesday we're having counseling sessions, and don't be shy. You can reach out if you need professional help, if you need someone to talk to. We can even have a phone conversation. We can meet in person. We need to address these issues so that we can create the future that we want. We want to be participants in the kind of future that we want, and this begins with you seeking help and finding like-minded people to walk this journey with you. Well, so we are transforming lives. I want you to share, as we come to the end of the show, I want you to share with us and the young people out there some of your key values that have pushed you from I believe this is not how you began. So from that young dreamer that you were to the man you are and where you're going. Some of the key outstanding values for you that you know.
No, it's a very good point, because my life has metamorphed into something different as a result of, I think, there's a few values that I know of, and just recently my wife told me about the other one. So I think for me, one is consistency. I have tried my level best to be consistent. If it's learning, continue learning. And I've been part of the community called Toastmasters for almost 13 years now. And every single month, at least without fail, I am meeting my accountability partners so that we can learn and improve our public speaking skills. It's not been easy. So I think for me, consistency. Number two, and this is really personal, is for me, it's my faith that I have in my God. And for me, my Christianity has been a big pillar, because for me, it's really been a bedrock on which I fall every time. Every time I succeed so well, but every time I fall so badly. So for me, the element of faith. And the other thing is honesty. For me, integrity as a holistic element. Again, born of my faith, but again, also a good business strategy. Integrity is a good business strategy, because people will follow you. And what my wife told me recently is that the hunger to continuously learn, and that I didn't know. But so I think these are some of the values, and I also have a keen interest in people. I love people. I love to see people grow, and this has been a value of mine. And everything I do is tied around developing people.
Well, thank you so much, Josh, for always showing up and sharing your wisdom. It is very true that we all have a contribution to make to a purposeful and addiction-free future. Well, we've had it all from us, and I think it's been a very, very beautiful conversation. Values, someone said that values can be a secret. It's a secret ingredient that turns the caterpillar into a butterfly. So all the butterflies that you see, for people that love butterflies, were once caterpillars. So begin now, begin when it's shaky, begin with a lot of doubt, but begin and choose to constantly do that. And as Purpose Rwanda, we are here every Saturday to motivate you, to encourage you, to bring you speakers that are going to impact your lives. And with us, you can actually, I think we should be open if there's anyone that needs to have like value setting classes, we should be open. I don't know if you...
Yeah, I'm available too.
Well, all the help that you need is available. You just need to take a decision today and choose to have values, choose to stick to the values, and consistently practice the things out. Consistently tell yourself you're not your addiction. The addiction is just something else. it's so independent. It's not even you. It doesn't define you. It's not who you are, but it's a circumstance that you're in, and you can actually get out of it. That is why we say you get into addictions, but just like you get into, you can come out. And yeah, consistency is very key. Young people have they have sayings out here and go, "Icyangombwa ni amakuru."
Yeah.
Yes, but information is key.
Yeah.
So the hunger to seek out this information, because information won't come to you. So from us to you, we wish you a very great weekend. As you set these values, begin small, begin with the fear, begin with all the doubt, but eventually the caterpillar will turn into butterflies. See you, thank you, and see you next time.
Purpose Rwanda as an idea is rooted in the belief and commitment of serving and transforming lives that leads to positive, purposeful, and addiction-free generation. With its various benefits, which are healthy population, active citizens engaged in productive activities that enhance increase in income levels, investment and savings, reduction in poverty levels, peace within an individual, the family, and the community. Drugs, alcohol, and sex addictions undermine human values and aspirations, resulting into undesirable consequences including mental health crisis, school dropouts, early and unwanted pregnancies, rising crime rates, increasing number of delinquents, poverty, and avoidable death, as this should be prevented from causing all this harm. Purpose Rwanda Show at KC2 aims at fighting addictions, supporting discovery and growth of life purposes towards the realization of self-sufficiency. Follow this show on KC2 every Saturday at 7 p.m. with Adams Quizia.